What is up, guys? Today I'm going to be bringing you a guide on Cho'Gath jungle. This is going to be a two-part guide, so this video is going to focus on just Cho'Gath, his ruins, and his item path that you're going to want to go through in most games. And part two is going to be the gameplay guide, so you kind of see what's going on and how you want to actually be managing him in a game. And so we're going to start off with Cho'Gath and just talking about him. So Cho'Gath is obviously a tanky AP jungler. And one of the great things about him, and I'm going to talk about this because the jungle is just so different in 16.3 than it ever was. A little bit about me. I've been playing League of Legends for years. You can look at my old videos, and I was doing jungle guides then, and I wanted to get back to it. And so I am a plat level jungler. And right now is just a crazy time in the jungle because it is so snowbally. And as a jungler, you are probably, I mean, it's always been that way. You're incredibly integral to the game, but right now it is essentially League of Dragons. And that is why Cho'Gath is such a strong pick, because when you look at his abilities, this feast is so huge that late game, and even pretty early, your feast is doing 1,200 up to 1,700 true damage to monsters, being dragons. So with your smite plus a feast later on, you can do up to over 3,000 damage. And right now, looking at it, I think the win rate on first dragon is like 58%, guys. And that's why Cho'Gath's just so huge. He is missing out on a dash ability, but he has so much CC. He's got a knockup. He's got a silence that's AoE. And then his Vorpal spikes late game, these do up to 10% HP plus damage per hit. So you're talking 30% of their health plus damage, and then your feast, and that's what makes him such a killer combo. So then jumping into just looking at his ruin setup that I do, this is going to be a little bit different because it's in the jungle, but I basically opt for spamming his ultimate. And so that's why I go with Domination, Hail of Blades. This is really useful in a jungle environment. He's a little less sustained fight and a little bit more burst. So his Hail of Blades, he gets 3 Vorpal attacks, which pairs out perfectly. So that's why you'll see this so often, this Hail of Blades pick, because you're just getting that health damage off so fast with those E procs. So that's why Hail of Blades. Cheap Shot when they're movement impaired or actions. So on your silence and on your knockup, you're going to get that bonus true damage. Grizzly Mementos. It's so important to have your summoners, your summoners, but just your Oracle Lens up. You really want to be taking Oracle Lens this season as a jungler. You're going to make more money, going to control more vision. You can maybe start with Ward to start, but I would be switching that so fast because Cho'Gath's thing is just dominating pits, and Oracle Lens is going to help you do that. This gives you more Oracle Lens, and then obviously Ultimate Hunter. This is going to allow you to stack, and you'll see in the game, I have no problem in the jungle getting to 10, 12 stacks because you can get up to 10 stacks easily just off of your red and blue buff. And then over here, I take Sorcery. You could take these different. There's a few different ways, but I just like this because Axiom Arcanist paired with Ultimate Hunter gives you crazy reduction on your R, and that is what makes you scale. That's what makes Cho so strong, is that that's one of the things that's big in season 16 right now, is any items are not enough. It's funny to see this progression as I played the game. Items are not enough, and getting to full build is not the end now, because you have so many junglers that have some sort of passive buff or stacking effect where you need to scale late game, and that is a huge perk. It's like becoming as much of what dashes used to be in this game is now, does your champ scale? And that's why Cho'Gath is so strong. He scales into health, and his health gives him back damage on his ult, which is true damage. So you get a massive assassination late game with your E Halo Blades into your your feast. And so that just gives you more of that, and it makes your feast 12% stronger. So Cho's got everything except for a crazy dash. And then I take Transcendence because I want more haste. I want my E up. And when I kill somebody, I'm going to get another Q and I'm going to get another E and I'm going to get my silence. So his abilities are just so strong. So I stack into haste and a bit of health. You could change this around, but for our purpose and the jungle, this is what I like the most. And then talking item build path, and then we're going to go into the gameplay. So you can catch part 2, which is going to be the gameplay. So when we're looking at our item build for Cho'Gath, I go with, you're going to take blue. Can I just put in like blue? No. Smite, will it give me? Yeah, there we go. So out of these, Cho'Gath's biggest weakness is he's slow. So you want to counteract that with your Gust Walkers, Smite. So you're going to be going blue. If they were big, slow guys and tanky, then I might take Scorch Claw for that extra bit of true damage, because between that and your ultimate itself and your health damage, this could be good. But Cho'Gath's just so slow. You just need him to be in fights, and he's a menace, so this helps you get to fights. Then from there, I really like to start to build out a rod. And so that would be my second item pick, just because it's cheap, it's early stats, you're going to get a bonus level that's going to put you ahead. Taking damage gives you mana, and dealing, or using your spells is going to give you health. So this is just kind of power Cho'Gath, and for $2,600. When it comes to boots, we are going to be taking boots, but I might get just basic boots. But then after that, I'm going to be running into my Swifts as quick as I can, because you need to get there. And then next is going to be a Deadman's Plate. Again, same thing. You need that movement speed, and you have no dash. So this is also going to work with your Swifties to give you that much more reduction, which you are going to greatly need, because some games you'll become so much of a threat with your feast in the back line, you'll get focused. And if you can get out of that, I think I do it in this game. I get out with like no health, and they basically just burn everything trying to kill me, and then you get out of there. So which then our next item, at this point, I usually go and build into a Heartsteel. This gives you huge damage on the carries. This isn't going to do crazy stuff to a tank, but if you get on to a carry and you start getting out your E combo, you're going to proc Colossal Consumption, which is 70% plus 6% of your max HP as bonus physical, and grants you another 8% of the damage's max health. So this is going to keep on getting you health, going to help your scaling, and give you another proc that's health. So if you get a whole E off on somebody, you late game are talking like 35% of their HP, which is going to very likely get them down into feast range. It's huge. And so then, of course, we're going to top this off with a Riftmaker. That's why I get into so much HP. When you get this Riftmaker, I think at the time with all this setup and your stacks, you're getting something like 60 to 80, where depending on where you are, bonus AP on top of that. That's making this 150 AP item, 15 ability haste, more health. When you're at in combat, you get 8% more damage. And then once you get that, you get Omnivamp. That makes your feast a huge way to get health back, and it's just nuts. It puts your E, I think, like it'll be at 10% or more per hit, max health. So you're just shredding, bro. It's crazy. And then finally, this last part would be like up to your game. I know some people aren't a big fan of this item. I like getting health out, because at this point, there is absolutely no reason for you to be going back to base. You're going to get even more health, which is more damage on your feast. And that's what's crazy, guys. Your feast will actually do more true damage than a smite. So if you're winning, you get to a point where like they literally cannot contest any objective, because you have a 1700 damage feast that's going to be followed up by your smite. So this is the build that I go with right now. There could be flaws with it. You could go into more AP, but in the jungle, this is what I like because you need speed. And so this covers you for speed right here. And then you need some health so that you can do your job and stay in the fights. And then you just end up converting all that health with Riftmaker into a huge AP bonus. So this is my preference, with the Warmogs being the questionable piece. And that red buff versus blue buff you could take, but it is a could. And it would only be a could against very immobile, tanky teams. So that is the itemization guide, and that is my picks. I'm going to be doing the gameplay side of things, but I just wanted to do this. Let me know about the formats. I am getting back to this, and I was doing this 12 years ago, so I know things have kind of changed, and I am kind of working towards just being able to do this as a consistent full-time thing as I climb myself into Diamond is my goal for the season. So feel free. I might wrap it all into one, but this is the format I did, and it worked best last time. So there you go, guys. Check out part 2, and I will see you for the actual in-gameplay tips and walkthrough of just maybe even 16.3 jungle. So I'll catch you there.